Welcome to the first edition of Let's Talk Events. I'm Andy Radig of Oshkosh Media, and we're glad that you could join us for this overview of some of the many events that are happening around Oshkosh. Joining me is Kathy Snell, Special Events Coordinator for the City of Oshkosh. Kathy, we're here in front of Oshkosh North High School, and I think this leads into an important change that's happening with a big memorial event this year, Memorial Day event.
It really does, Andy. This year, due to the construction at Algoma Boulevard, the Oshkosh Patriotic Council was unable to go forward with their normal planning of having the events start or the procession start at City Hall parking lot, as we've done in many years past, and going right up north on Algoma to Riverside Cemetery. This year we're going to start, as you just mentioned, right behind us here at Oshkosh North High School. The staging of the procession groups will be here. They'll go down West Smith Street to Vinland Avenue, over to Murdoch, and up Algoma to Riverside Cemetery this year. So the areas where spectators will want to be for processions will be along that route this year rather than their normal place.
Folks will have to keep in mind also considerations for the local residents and not block driveways and things like that.
Absolutely, and we will have the Oshkosh Police Department out that day helping with some of those traffic logistics. Road closures obviously will be in effect that morning for the procession, so we'll continue to move forward with that. The Oshkosh Patriotic Council will continue to have their normal ceremonies both at South Park at 7:30 in the morning for that reading of the names near the War Monument at South Park, and also at Riverside Park for the wreath laying for those who were lost at sea. So those things will continue to remain the same.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very good. Any other considerations that folks should keep in mind regarding Memorial Day procession? Just to plan ahead and just be mindful of the route?
Yeah, plan ahead. Please be patient. Our officers are out there doing the best they can to get traffic through as quickly as possible. We'll open up those roads as soon as the procession units are through. So we'll continue to be moving throughout the area in the morning, just trying to get those roads back open for normal traffic.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very good. And we'll keep everybody updated on social media with these updates as well. So
absolutely.
Okay. Well, I know there's a lot more going on in May. I guess if you'd like to dive in and let us know what else is coming up.
Sure, absolutely. May is going to be filled with festivals, run walks, fishing tournaments. We'll continue to have just a variety of events as we typically do this time of year. Kind of kicks off our season. We call it a season, but in fact it runs throughout the whole year. Mm-hmm. Then we're looking at some of the fishing tournaments that'll be hosted. Those will be at Menominee Park. We have Bago Walleye Club kicking off in May for their tournament series. Mm-hmm. Hoagies will have their annual walleye warm-up, so we're always open to all those fishing tournaments that are happening as well.
It's a busy time for fishing tournaments coming up.
It most certainly is. Spring is a very busy time in Oshkosh for the walleye run.
Mm-hmm. Okay, all right.
Kind of leading into that too, the 20th of May, we have another event that's coming back. Didn't happen for the last couple of years, but it's called Bike to Work Day. Mm-hmm. And that's a day where they set up a station in Opera House Square, and that morning if you're biking to work you can stop at Opera House Square and have your bike tuned up for free, and that's something that they just kind of do to promote that day as well.
Okay, perfect. Well, hopefully our weather improves a little bit so people can get out on their bikes a little bit more.
Oh, I sure hope so.
Yeah, that would be great. Anything else coming up?
Yeah, and I would be remiss to mention that coming back again this year is the Festival of Spring. And I do want to make everybody aware that, again, that's another event that will be taking a little bit of a change this year with the Algoma Boulevard construction. That area will not be available for people to park and unload and load up their vehicles after they purchase things that day.
Okay, all right. So again, folks would have to keep in mind, not to block driveways and just be considerate of the neighborhood.
Absolutely, yes. And again, we ask for patience during those times. We'll again have our Oshkosh Police Department out and busy doing traffic control that day as well. We're expecting that to be a little bit heavier traffic because by that time, we're moving kind of into those intersections and so forth for that construction.
Okay. Yeah, and some of those streets are somewhat congested as well, so
Absolutely.
just a little bit of patience goes a long way. All right.
It sure does.
Okay. Well, anything else? I'm not sure if we got into June a little bit, or if you have some other events that are coming up.
Let me just give you one more for May.
Okay.
Okay. On May 25th, we'll have the cruise night with Artie and Ed's. That is, again, a long time tradition for them.
Oh, those are fun.
Yes.
Yeah, those are good time.
Absolutely. It's a car show, basically, where people come out and they can look at old cars and vehicles and just kind of get their root beer float and their dinner and just kind of have a little car show over at Artie and Ed's. So that will again be happening. And as I mentioned, that kind of kicks off the Memorial Day weekend. We also do have the Hmong Memorial Day Festival traditionally hosted out at the Winnebago County Community Park.
Okay.
Sometimes parking leads over into Sunnyview,
Okay.
depending on how busy they are. But that will also be hosted again this year. And again, entertainment, they have some festive dances and so forth, but they also have volleyball and soccer tournaments as well.
Mm-hmm. So people could join in and get the whole cultural experience.
They absolutely can come out, get an idea of what they have for that traditional Memorial Day festivities for them. And again, everybody's welcome to attend. And they do have, certain groups that have already signed up to participate in the sporting events, but everybody is welcome to come out and spectate and visit their vendor booths.
Oh, perfect. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we're getting into June then. I guess if you have anything else planned here.
Sure. We'll just kind of get ready for the summer full of events.
Okay.
We'll continue to update, as we've talked about. We'll continue to update everyone with summer events coming, but yeah, definitely keep in mind June will kick off the farmers market. So the first weekend in June is always the kickoff to the downtown Oshkosh farmers market, and that will go from that first week in June through the end of October.
Mm-hmm. And if folks aren't familiar with the farmers market, it's really kind of a large event in that Main Street is blocked off for quite a section.
That is correct. It is about 3 to 4 blocks of our Main Street, so it's a big event. Come out, check it out. Always wonderful vendors of food and crafts and lots of different things.
Mm-hmm. Now, Kathy, in your work, you do a lot with helping people as they're organizing events and things like that. If folks aren't aware, there's a lot that goes into it. What would be a good way for someone to start if they're thinking about getting going with an event?
Sure, absolutely. Maybe the first steps would be to check out our special events website page on the City of Oshkosh, and then also to just give me a phone call and we'll get you started. Mm-hmm. We'll start with considerations of where you're looking to host your event. If there's other places that we think maybe could be a good fit for you, we'll check on the dates and locations to make sure there's not any conflict with existing events.
Good to know.
And then we'll start talking about some of the other things that might impact your event.
Mm-hmm. And you can also connect those individuals with resources that may be available to them as well.
Absolutely. We do our best to connect individuals with other groups perhaps that are looking to host similar events. We like to get everybody in contact as much as we can, but then we'll also start and look at, as we've just mentioned earlier, Oshkosh Police Department is very heavily involved in a lot of the events throughout the city, making sure that our traffic is managed well. Sometimes we need to look to the fire department for fire protection services as well. So yes, I'll connect them with a variety of different resources that we have available throughout the city.
Okay. Well, we've talked about a lot of different events today. Is there anything else you'd like to add in our first update of Let's Talk Events?
I think for today that's probably a little overwhelming.
Okay. Well, there was quite a few there. But again, we do plan on doing this periodically and talking about events that are coming up, and we're getting into a busy season now, so we'll have another update coming up. Any final thoughts?
Just continue to, like you mentioned, be patient when you're out at events. Make sure not to block people's driveways, to be courteous to other people, and make sure that you're checking out the event pages. And the Visit Oshkosh page is a great one to check out upcoming events. Those are free for organizers to go on and promote their events at. So it's a great way for the community to search for events happening.
Very good. All right. Well, Kathy, thank you for joining us today for this first program. Glad you could be here.
Yes, thank you.
All right. And thank you for joining us today. And join us again for another edition of Let's Talk Events.